Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast. I don't know why I did it all on playing. That's weird.
Yeah, all those things you just said were true, Steve. What do you want to talk about this episode?
You just did this video with Shane from InTheBlues, which is super cool.
Yeah, well, Shane and a few other guys.
Shane and Henning.
Shane ran the whole thing.
Yeah, and the Tone King's on there. Mm-hmm. A couple of guys that, or at least one guy who's not in the industry.
I'm going to say right now that anyone that wasn't in that video...
You're dead to me.
Is who we were talking about in that video.
A lot of people. So that's a different angle. I didn't even think about. We've been getting a lot of questions about like, who are you guys talking about? Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
We want details.
But I wanted to talk about the fact that now, I read a lot of the comments on YouTube, not every, not all of them, but I read them when I probably check them like a couple times a day on a normal day.
Steve goes through all my replies and checks them for grammar and corrects them for me.
Yeah. No, you can't edit YouTube comments. I wish you could. I would change so many. They'd just be like, you'd be like, no. And I'd change it like, the response to your question is in the negative. But I feel like that video like invited people to try to find videos that you forgot or that for whatever reason you didn't click.
I didn't quite say things the right way.
And now I feel like every video we do should just be marked as paid.
Well, that's what I'm moving towards. I mean, this is coming out after I launched the video for the Flamma stuff, and I put this disclaimer at the beginning that I'm going to start putting on basically everything that just covers all the bases. I said in the InBlues video that I didn't like hard baking stuff in, but I thought about it after that video. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hard bake it in, and I'm going to do it on my own terms, and I'm going to make sure it covers everything. No icons. No, like, oh, this one's product provided, this one's sponsored, this one's on my own. No, this just covers them all. This just says, like, you're watching a channel. Things might happen. Deal with it. So, yeah, that's the direction I'm going now.
So it's screwy. One, like, I think about the podcast and the fact that, like, if you drop a paid promotion in here, like, how do you know which part is paid promotion? Are we being paid by Craigslist to talk about Craigslist ads? Are we going to...
No, here it's very obvious, like, who our sponsors
we have a sponsor spot, and Shane from InTheBlues gave us $500 to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. They were Australian dollars, so they're basically worthless. But they're
actually made out of kangaroo meat, and they're delicious. I ate all the money he paid me.
But you can't spend them anywhere. But it's also weird, like, because I think it has kind of become this like hunt down where, and to be fair, like the first Bliss Factory video you did not. I mean, is that paid promotion? It's the pedal that you're talking about.
Because I was looking, I wanted to check the box on it, because technically 3 out of 4 products in that video, I was paid to produce content for in other videos, and I was provided the product. And technically, by various local laws, wherever you happen to be in the world, there's places where, like, if you receive product, that is payment. So technically, that video contains paid promotion because I was provided with product that is honestly very valuable.
So what else is I just threw that one out there because I'm looking at one
right.
But I'm assuming, were you playing like either a Fender or a Squier guitar in it?
Oh, probably.
Yeah. So
I don't remember what I played. Oh, I might have played the Revelator that Josh gave me.
Does that one count? That one's not paid, but the trip that you took to get it was paid.
Right. No, it's all so murky, and it's like every other thing in this room behind me was sourced by some brand.
Right.
So it's like the fact that you're seeing it on screen means that I should just click that thing for every single video. But then I feel like the reason why I wanted to do the disclaimer at the beginning is because it feels like it's not specific enough. People just think I'm getting paid for every single video, and that's certainly not true.
Yeah.
And
so I think the first video somebody busted your chops on was actually the K-Line video.
Yeah.
You put the K-Line video up without, and I'm looking at it I'm like, look, like some of these pedals are pretty good, but I don't think anybody's going out and going like, I'm going to buy all 22 of these.
No, that would be bonkers.
Like,
I need to do some math really quick. On average, those are, we'll just call them $60 pedals. So 60 times 22. Holy hell, $1,300 worth of K-Line pedals. Yeah, I did get paid. I got paid $1,300 worth of K-Line pedals.
Product, right.
But then to turn that into $1,300, I would have to become a K-Line dealership.
In order to turn that into $1,300, you just need to get 1.3 million views.
Exactly. That's never going to happen on that video.
There you go.
I'm actually planning with a lot of the Affordaboard stuff. My bins are full. The Affordaboard bins are full now. Ooh. I need to start moving stuff out of the bins, like getting rid of stuff that I don't think I'll cover again. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together like little boards on pieces of cardboard that are like 3 or 4 pedals at a time.
Right.
And just do eBay auctions and either be like all the money's going back into the show budget, or maybe we'll alternate and like every other one will be like, this one's going to charity. I don't know.
Right. I think I actually appreciate the general idea of like people going through and being like, hey, I know you always trying to be up front and here's a video you missed.
Oh, sure.
No, but the thing is like so many people are going like some of these. I say so many. There's been like 3 or 4,
right?
But it's like normally we get like maybe 1 or 2 of those kinds of comments a month. We've gotten like 4.
Maybe
I feel
like it's a couple a season maybe.
And this is like, you're trying to dupe us. And the one today,
is bonkers.
Was the guy's like, you got paid by Game Changer to compare the plasma to a Behringer and say it's better, and you're like, here's the receipts, bruh. And they're like, no, you faked it, just like you, Ryan Burke, personally faked the moon landing. And you, Ryan Burke, personally killed JFK. And you're the Zodiac killer.
Now that guy is either like very intentionally like doing a troll, or I feel a little sad for him that he's clearly unhinged in some sort of way.
If you seriously, we between the two of us, we probably read every single comment.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you make a comment, one of us sees it.
So if you find a video that you think might have some paid promo and it's not marked as such, like just leave the comment like, hey, was this paid promo? Or I mean, if you don't care, just enjoy the video.
What I did when I first noticed that option was available, that the check mark was available for me to mark that, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Finally. And I went through, I think at the time I had like 1,200 videos up. I went back 7 years is how long this channel's been up. And I clicked every single video that I had been paid, that I charged a fee for to do the demo, going all the way back to when I was charging $100 at the very beginning.
I did tell you like 4 years ago to make a little disclaimer.
Yeah, but
I said Phil McKnight does it, Ryan. Why aren't you doing it?
It felt weird then. It feels weird now, but I feel like it's necessary now. But in reality, I should go back and click every single one where the product was provided. And then once it starts being that like I have a background where there's stuff behind me, or that I'm using stuff that's unrelated to the concept of the video, but I'm still using it that was provided, then it's like I should really just go back and default click every single one. But it makes me feel so icky because it's like I didn't get paid for all of those. I didn't get paid for the vast majority. It's probably like maybe 1/20th of videos
I
get to charge a demo fee for. It's like once or twice a month on average. And like around NAMM season, it ticks up dramatically. But the rest of the year, it's like 1 or 2 times a month, I'm actually getting paid to do a demo. So I'm sure this is super exciting to everyone tuning in, but
I just, like I said, it's something that it
is interesting.
Saw and I thought was both kind of amusing and it's like an amusing uptick and kind of dumb.
Also,
but I thought it was like a really cool video too.
Also, it's exactly the reason why Shane wanted to do that video. And I feel like that got lost a little bit in like just all his talking heads going on our own rabbit trails. But his core concept behind that video is like those of us that are disclosing what we're doing and what's going on are getting penalized and witch hunted because we're giving a hint. We're telling people like, hey,
right,
here's the disclaimer. Here's what's going on. Like, oh, you get paid. Oh, you're just paid to say this stuff.
Yeah.
Where the channels that are huge, there's huge channels out there that never disclose anything, but you see them in all the product launches and no one is going after them.
And to that point, you know, you want to know who's doing it? People say they want to know, like, there's a really easy way to do that. When we do a product launch, go back to the Walrus R1 or the ACS, or go to the Juliana's the really easy one, because that was the one that pissed a lot of people off in the first place.
Upset about that.
If you go on YouTube and you search for Walrus Juliana, 45 videos will come up that all got released within a 48-hour period. You can watch every single one, and any of them that don't say paid promotion at the beginning, those are the people we're talking about.
Yeah. I couldn't sit down and make a list of all of them. I honestly don't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't have a list in my mind of like, oh, these are the offenders. But it is just a funny phenomenon that those of us that are disclosing have people coming after us, and the people that aren't disclosing, everything's just hunky-dory, I guess.
And to that point, like, I don't think that the people who aren't doing it are necessarily trying to portray themselves as dishonest.
They probably have the same misgivings that I do. Where it's like, well, the arrangement here was complicated, and a lot of the big channels don't charge. They're past that because they make all their money other ways, but they have relationships with brands, or they think that a certain product will get them the clicks that they want and things like that. Every single channel has a different like arrangement with every single brand.
Maybe they're in a company that doesn't have these. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what countries have different,
right.
You know, promotional advertisement disclosure laws.
I think
things, but
it's easy in the States to just not think that you need to do it, because the consumer base here just already assumes everything that they are exposed to is an advertisement.
You would think so, but we still get lots of people who, you know.
Well, I've noticed that a lot of
they're confused about it.
The big outcry type people that are commenting are usually European, because it's a much bigger legal issue there, and a much bigger like social mentality.
Continentalist, Ryan.
I'm not saying it's a wrong attitude. I'm just saying that's what I've noticed.
Is this some? Are you sure that's
Listen, it's not a stereotype if it's true, Steve.
Are you sure this isn't just like Andy personally messaging you to complain about your video? Andy. Actually, Andy's always been nice to me. He's only mean to you. That's a true fact.
Yeah, Andy, well, he tries to be nice to you because he wants you to give the dirt.
That's probably true.
Oh my gosh, let's do this ad. Let's stop talking about ourselves. This isn't even an ad. This is like a sad story.
Yeah, this is sent by Eric Roden. Is that actually the name, Eric Rodenbaum?
It's probably supposed to be Rosenbaum. I might have screwed that up.
There is a Eric Rosaboom in our group.
That might be who it is.
Roosevelt, but this is a mailer from Vintage Guitar Magazine, sent through MailChimp. For stolen guitars, my storage facility in San Jose, California was broken into sometime between September 24th, 2020 and September 24th and December 23rd, and my entire collection was stolen. Please help me find my guitars and amps. If you have any information, contact this guy who's a detective, San Jose Police Department. This list is crazy.
Super duper bonkers. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh wow, there's like 12 guitars here. And then you go through the post and it's like, oh, there are dozens of guitars here. And then you're like, oh, there might be hundreds of guitars here.
Yeah, there are 19 amps on this list.
This is absolutely heartbreaking. And you know, in the Facebook post that this came from, there was a lot of speculation going on. A lot of people like, is this insurance fraud? A lot of people like, how do you not know that all your stuff is gone in a 2-month period? Like, why people being critical, like, why do you even have all that stuff? And I can certainly understand that mentality. I can understand those initial instincts. Like when I saw this, it was like, this feels so outlandish. Can it even be real? Because you think of like someone's storage unit being broken into and having stuff stolen. You can't make away with this stuff with a truck. You can't make away with this stuff with a van. You need a fleet. This is like multiple trips in a big moving van. If all this, I'm assuming all this stuff was in cases, and that adds to the bulk of it. You know, like you can't just like, oh my gosh, we snapped, you know, the padlock and we've hit jackpot. Just grab what you can and let's go. Like this, to steal all this stuff would be like a coordinated effort. But
these lists are so long I can't even count them. There's definitely like
right. No, there's 7 screen grabs here.
Yeah, one of them that's just not even a full lit page of listings has 26 guitars on it. There's easily over 100 guitars.
Yeah, I'd bet it's nearly 200 objects, and all of them are like high-end, vintage, custom sorts of things. Like you look at the number, the date list is the first thing on here, and it's like 1967, 1963, 1965, 1966, 1966, 1967, like 1978.
I think the oldest one I saw, there's a bunch of 1959 Goyas.
Yeah, it is just someone's treasure chest full of vintage stuff and rare stuff and custom stuff, just gone. Here's a 1955 Fender Champ.
Oh, there's a 1955 Gretsch 6191.
Yeah, and friend of the show, Mike Adams, was in the Facebook post, and it was like, actually, some of these guitars in here are actually well known in certain circles. They're famous guitars.
Oh, wow.
And some of them have been identified and returned to the owner already. So he's already down. Wow. He's already up on what's going on here. So if it was an insurance fraud situation, like that kind of disproves that, because I mean, also like if it was an insurance fraud situation, you wouldn't be running ads like this to try to get your stuff back. Like you'd be like, oh, I guess it's just gone.
Right.
Hey, insurance, pay up.
So I think I just saw a PR. Oh, there it is, 1998 PRS. This is a lot of guitars for one storage unit. But
I mean, there's different size storage units, but yeah, I'm betting that.
I'm saying like this is just a lot of guitars for any single person to own.
What do you think the average value of each one of these things is?
Gosh, I don't know. There's probably I would probably guess the average value of any guitar on here is at least.
The number in my head is $3,000.
I was gonna say 5.
Let's call it 4.
I don't think there's enough budgety stuff on here to push it down.
Well, there's a couple things like the Goyas and things like that.
But there's like 8 of those, and there's like 100 1966 Jags.
Okay, let's roll with 4.
Okay,
and we'll call it 175 objects because we just guesstimated $700,000.
Yeah. I think maybe if you factor in the amps, maybe that number. But sure. I would say even conservatively, hey, this number is gonna come up later in the show. $500,000.
$500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah, that's being very conservative. I think we could say that this is $500,000 to $1 million worth of crazy stuff.
Also,
would you trade all this stuff for one Klon boy?
Oh my gosh. You gave away the ending, right?
One Goldie Horsey boy. Would you trade all of this?
One thing with this is, I don't want this to fall into the category of, well, whatever people do with their own property. Like this is a collection. We don't even know what this is. This could have been like,
it could have been storage for a museum.
This could have been the manager of Hard Rock Cafe. Like this is the Hard Rock Cafe guitar storage. I don't know.
I don't think I have any room to judge people who have way too much music gear in their life.
But the other part of it is people said like, oh, this was broken into between September 24th and December 23rd, which is like 3 months.
Right.
As if like, how could you not know for 3 months? And like,
I've known people who have storage units. They don't go and visit it on the weekend.
Yeah,
they go when they have another thing they need to drop off.
Or they go like, oh, you know what? Like, I want to turn my office back into a bedroom. I'm going to go get that bed out of my
right.
My storage.
They pay $100 a month to store stuff that they should have just thrown away. Typically with storage units, with stuff like this, man, possibly $1 million worth of stuff.
Yeah,
a history lesson worth of stuff. No, like, why even trust a storage unit?
I don't know.
Like, you have that kind of money. Why don't you have a structure built on your property to store this stuff? Maybe it's, a big city living sort of situation where that's not possible. But, geez, like, I can't imagine owning nearly $1 million worth of guitars.
I mean, to be fair, this was stolen in San Jose, California, which is like one of the most expensive, like metros in
so
the United States.
Someone could easily be a millionaire there and be living in an apartment.
This entire guitar collection does not buy you a house in San Jose.
No, it doesn't.
It does buy you a house in San Diego. I did it. I didn't do it.
Oh, you were saying that you stole all this stuff so you could buy a house
in San Diego.
No, can you imagine being the person who stole all this? First of all, you crack open that master lock with a bolt cutter. You open it up and you see just floor to ceiling, wall to wall guitar cases.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to take as much as I can. And you fill up the car, you drive back, you unload it into your house or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you're like, there's still so much there. There's so much there. And then you go back and you look around, you see if anyone sees you, and you just keep making trips. And it's like, how do you stop?
Yeah.
You're risking being caught every single time you go back, because there's no way, unless this was fully coordinated with a fleet of vans, there's no way it was one trip. It had to be multiple trips.
I keep looking at this Oakland A's.
And then like guitars are like one of the worst things to steal and then try to resell.
Right. Because
especially with a lot of these, they're not new models. They're not like, oh, this looks the same as any other new, Vintera Jaguar that came out. No, these are all...
Is that Wilford Brimley?
I can't tell. They're all very uniquely aged vintage instruments with unique markings on them, unique serial numbers that are probably all logged down somewhere. And selling these on the open market is going to be very tricky without being caught. Like hundreds of objects, all with their serial numbers written down somewhere, all with unique aging and body features and stuff like that. I can't imagine getting away with this long term. Like they're going to find all these in a house somewhere that forecloses because the person who sold them didn't know how to get rid of them without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, like Mike said, a couple people already came forward and were like, hey, yeah, this is one of those. And it only takes a few of those to connect the dots to where they got them from.
Well, if any of these get turned in from like a pawn shop, I think pawn shops, particularly for like a higher price item like this, is going to
have surveillance cameras. It's going to have
like records
of people dropping stuff off.
Yeah.
Eventually this person trying to sell all these things and unload them is going to get found out. Like, this is not a good heist.
We're coming for you. And by we, I mean the San Jose Police Department.
Guitar detectives on the case. On the guitar case.
Oh my God.
I feel like there is a series in there for us. Guitar detectives on the case.
Guitar dicks.
Guitar dicks. Hi, I'm Ryan, and this is Steve. We're Guitar Dicks. Shoot, we've had the wrong podcast name for 7 years now, Steve. We should have been Guitar Dicks all along.
Yeah, but then we would have to be doing investigations all the time.
Yeah.
And also we'd have to rough people up. Would you be the good cop or the bad cop?
I'd be like the Mel Gibson cop that's kind of unhinged and doesn't have his life together.
And I would just be tired of your shit all the time.
Exactly. You'd be too old for this.
I am too old for this.
I'd be the one who, shoots first and never asks questions. And you'll be like, dude, chill out.
I'd be the one who asks all the questions and then shoots. Thanks for all the information.
We would both just shoot people. No, you would start interrogating the witness, and you would just keep talking and talking and talking. They would grab their gun and shoot themselves. Oh, are we gonna do a dark episode again?
I don't know. I've been watching The Expanse. Have you watched The Expanse?
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing.
Oh man, I'm almost there. I'm almost caught up.
What season are you in?
4?
Is that the newest one?
No, I think the
Okay.
newest one is 5 or 6.
I feel like the last 2 seasons kind of just drug.
I'm in the season where they first go through the ring.
Okay, that's a decent season.
And there's all this technology, and they're always threatening to space people,
Right.
which is a common theme of the show.
No, the newest season.
Don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was very exciting. The reason to love Expanse is just the kind of universe building of it.
Yeah.
Plus the physics of it. They do an excellent job on physics. We've completely abandoned the topic, which is fine. We're talking about Expanse now.
I felt like the topic was over.
But the science, physics, representations of space travel and life is really fantastic.
I like that the ships tumble.
Right.
That they don't really care. They're just tumbling around. Doesn't really matter.
It's very much they're very dependent on, the gravity of the objects around them and stuff like that, the planetary objects and whatnot, and the realistic issues that space travel would deal to you.
Yeah.
So
speaking of realistic issues of space travel, this episode is brought to you by Chase Bliss Audio.
That's right, Steve.
They make pedals more creative than you are. I was trying to get creative with this Chase Bliss Factory earlier. I have one too. I forgot to bring it. I was going to bring it over. I have the black one. You guys guys and girls who follow us, and guys and girls and non-binaries that follow us on Instagram, saw my black, my dark gray / black, whatever color you want to call it, Chase Bliss Factory on Instagram, and all assumed Ryan just got a second one.
Steve uses the Instagram too, guys.
Anyway, thing's crazy. I'm gonna have to figure out how to at least tame it a little.
No, don't try to tame it. Let it be free. Let it be wild, Steve.
I wanna use it outside of the house right now. It's really cool. There's a lot of fun sounds in it. Maybe I just couldn't do it because you got all your dip switches back here doing a thing.
I've got it dialed in to do my low pass filter sweep thing that I love doing with it. You definitely can tame it. I think really the key with the Bliss Factory, Steve, that makes it so incredible compared to regular fuzz factories is that you do have 2 preset slots. Anyone who's ever had a fuzz factory knows you have to fine tune the knobs with a tweezer sometimes to get it just right. And the fact that you can save a preset or 2 on here is a game changer.
It's very bueno
for a fuzz factory. And the fact that you have extra controls, thanks to Chase Bliss, makes this a real winner. Hopefully they make more. They're already sold out. They announced hey, the new run's coming out. 2 days later, it was out. And by the end of the day, by the next morning, they were all gone.
Yep.
So hopefully they keep making them, because I think people that want them should be able to buy them and not at ridiculous like scalper prices.
Yeah.
I think that's bonkers.
We just promoted a pedal that doesn't exist on the open market right now, or on the retail market.
Yeah.
On the new retail market for like 2 minutes. But also go to chaseblissaudio.com. They have a lot of wild other pedals, like the Mood and
The Blooper.
the Blooper and the Dark World,
The Gravitas.
and the Gravitas.
The Tonal Recall, the Therme, one of my personal favorite delays. The Dark World, one of my personal
already
favorite
said that.
reverbs.
I already said that. I think we said them all.
Warped Final.
We did not say the Warp Vinyl.
Do not ask about a flanger. They do not have a flanger.
There's no flanger.
Do not ask. They will not make one for you.
ChaseBlissAudio.com.
They make pedals more creative than you are, and probably better looking too.
All right, man. What's new?
What's new is we got a book here that the Shy Boy sent us. This was written by Billy Cardigan himself, the man who was stuck in a coma for a couple months. He got out of the coma, resumed filming Pedals and Effects Arena Corner, and then got into the world of children's literature. He wrote this book called My Daddy
Did
Has
he illustrate it too?
100 Pedals. I'm assuming he illustrated it. And it's honestly a pretty fun read. Copyright 2021, Billy Cardigan.
It's very new.
Yeah. Look at that. It's a children's book about a daddy having so many pedals. I was honestly reading it, expecting it to go into like a dark and like maybe dirty direction or like a sad direction, but it didn't. It's actually quite charming. And my son was looking through it and he was like, I like this picture the best. Like, what other children's book has the My Bloody Valentine album in it?
Oh, very cool.
Here, I'll read an excerpt. This one here, that says delay. That makes the sound repeat for days. Can you tell me what this one does? It's a dual butt. It's a dual boost and gated fuzz.
It's a dual butt too.
It's a dual butt. Okay, we've just confirmed that I can't read. Look.
You're going to show the entire book.
He's got a rat pedal, and there's a rat with his tail plugged into the rat pedal.
Oh, cool.
So go check out the book. Buy it for your children or your friends' children to really confuse them for their next birthday or holiday. My Daddy Has 100 Pedals by Billy Cardigan. I'm a big fan of the Shy Boys, by the way.
I know.
Every now and then I get their song about brushing your teeth stuck in my head.
I don't know that song.
Go look it up. It's a good one. Why do I always bleed?
Oh,
Whenever
right. I
brush
do.
my teeth.
I have heard this song.
Do I have a disease? It's a good song. I like it. What's new with you, Steve?
Well, I already talked about getting a Bliss Factory. I also, since I think the last time we recorded, got a Mono Cases Vertigo for bass. I wanted that for the...
Now, when you say it's for bass, does that mean it handles bass frequencies better than a guitar case?
Yes.
It's made out of bass wood?
Specifically, bass frequencies can fit inside of it.
It can contain the bass frequencies.
Because the Italia bass that Grant from Big Ear Pedals sent me, has like just a hugest hard shell case that from Italia, the original case. So I wanted something smaller and lightweight.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed by this thing.
They're great.
It's really slim. The one thing I am having trouble getting used to is the Vertigo series has the top loader, is like the top loader case.
Yeah.
So it's super convenient and you feel really cool because you're just like, bzz, bzz, and like you don't have to lay it down or anything, but it's also kind of awkward because I keep my straps on my instrument. So the strap keeps getting, and the strap that I have on this bass has like buckles and stuff. So it just keeps getting jammed in the zipper. But it's, oh my gosh, it's so lightweight.
I always take my straps.
Crazy lightweight.
I always take my straps off before I put stuff in the case these days. So you should probably do that, Steve.
I'm not going to. I've got the grommets on these, just
Yeah.
the little Grolsch washers, just so I don't have to do that.
When I repainted in here last week,
That's a what's new.
It is what's new, but I packed all my guitars into every case that I have, and I have all these hard cases basically stored around the garage. Mm-hmm. And like, they're convenient when you want to store stuff because you can stack them and prop them up and whatnot. Like,
Mash
you wouldn't
them, put them in a stew.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to like store all your guitars in soft cases if you were doing long-term storage. But man, soft cases are so much more convenient for like daily gigging and travel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd never want to use a hard case when I'm going to play a gig or even at church. I want something I can put on my back that I can put over my shoulder so that I can carry other stuff in my hands, you know?
I've got that little music area effects backpack, and I'm thinking about trying to get some carabiners and trying to like convert it into like a makeshift tick too.
I tried to do that because I have the same music area thing, and I tried to do it with one of my mono bags, and it just felt too clumsy. It's not quite right. I think you could do it with like a luggage strap, but then at that point you're closing off the case.
Yeah. What about zip ties? Maybe I could use zip ties. But
Maybe.
Then it's stuck there.
I think I have my doubts about the mono-made tick thing. Like it's just gonna flop around still, right?
Well, it's gonna flop around a little bit.
Something about it flopping around bothered me. I don't like it to flop around. I want everything secure.
Right.
Steve, do you like it flopping around or do you want it secure?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh, we've devolved into dick jokes.
Oh, is that what that was?
Those were dick jokes, Steve. Next ad?
Yeah, this next ad was found on the Ugly Guitars group on Facebook.
Right. Michael Corchia posted it there.
This is a reverse Celine Dion bass guitar. The ad mentions that it was probably painted by a professional. Why do we assume this is Celine Dion? Is this based on a Celine Dion photo?
It is based Celine Dion because it is a bass guitar. Get it? No,
Yeah,
I think that is Celine Dion. I believe in my heart, and my heart will go on believing that this is Celine Dion.
I feel like I'm kind of getting some. It could be Celine Dion. I'm not saying.
All right, let's go find a Celine Dion photo that looks like.
I'm just trying to figure out is this based on a.
Yes, it is based, Steve. We already.
She's wearing a big red turtleneck, so you need to look for Celine Dion turtleneck.
Oh my gosh, this is impossible. I think that's totally Celine Dion. How can you look at this photo and not say that's Celine Dion? It's a good airbrushing painting. That is clearly Celine Dion.
So then the question is...
And it's good art. This is a good airbrushing that I can look at it and know right away that this is Celine Dion, Steve.
All right. Oh, here's the picture. I found the picture.
You found the picture. There she is.
Found the exact
Here,
picture.
send me that picture so that I can use it in the edit.
I don't know how to...
Just screen grab with your phone, man.
I just sent you something. I don't know if I did.
You did it. Thank you, Steve. You did it. But it's bonkers, first of all, to paint Celine Dion on a bass guitar.
Yeah, she's like a soprano. Nailed it.
Secondly, it's bonkers to paint her on upside down. Clearly, the only person meant to view Celine Dion in all her glory on this bass guitar is the person holding and playing the bass.
Okay.
This is not a Celine Dion for anyone else. This is for the bass player only.
Here's some things that in our build up to this, we failed to notice that this instrument has no bridge.
No, it doesn't. Well, if you put the bridge on here, it would cover up Celine's face.
Right. So nobody's ever going to be playing this and looking at Celine.
Look at this rough defretting.
It's a fretless.
It's not just fretless. It's woodless. There's chunks of wood missing where frets used to be.
Somebody did this themselves. They removed the frets on their own. This is clearly now, you think about art guitars, and every time we do an art guitar, it's like, well, is this a wall hanger or not? Or it's like, is this playable?
I want you to have this. I want you to take it home. I want to set up hidden cameras to film your wife's reaction when you pull it out of the case and hang it up on the wall.
Oh my gosh. Just replacing the Eastwood.
She will know right away that that's Celine Dion too.
Yeah.
She'd be like, Steve, Why did you buy a Celine Dion bass?
I'll just look at her and be like, that's the way it is.
Oh my gosh.
Are we out of Celine? I feel like
I only know the Titanic song, Steve.
you only know the so what's another one? What's the one? Oh, there was another. She had another big hit that wasn't the Titanic song.
I feel like the only person who should own this is Celine Dion.
You're
Like,
saying
she should buy this.
You're saying whoever did this should just gift this to Celine Dion.
Give it to her. Like, if you paint someone's face on something, then you owe it to that person to offer it to them first as a kindness. Is a rule I'm making up right now. Hey, I painted this of you. Do you want it? If not, I will find someone else who does. Like, you have to extend the invitation to Celine Dion first.
I forgot she was on the Deadpool 2 soundtrack.
Oh my gosh. 130 euros, Steve. What is that American? Like 200 even?
I actually did this conversion earlier. It's like 1.2. So what's 0.2 of that? Yeah, it's probably around 200. 0.2, 13 times 0.2 is like 20. This is like 160.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay shipping to get this from Europe, and it'll be over 200 easy. Which you're going to do, Steve. You're going to buy this with Patreon money to surprise your wife.
It shipped. Just unbox it.
Surprise, honey! You're going to learn bass guitar.
Reverse unboxing.
So
instead of filming the person unboxing, you're filming somebody watching the unboxing.
I don't exactly remember where a P-Bass's bridge is, but isn't it pretty close to the butt end? It'd
be probably like over her left cheek.
So it wouldn't fully cover her face.
No.
So it's doable. You could put this back to life and have a nice fretless bass for 200 euro and, a $30 bridge if you can figure out how to place it right. We don't even know the original make of this bass. It looks like some sort of like cheap Jackson knockoff. Probably like a Memphis.
I think it's a Hondo.
That might be a Hondo.
This thing's tragic.
We know it's a Hondo 30.
It's a Hondo 30.
Yeah, I honestly don't suggest that anyone buy the Celine Dion bass unless you are a huge Celine Dion fan that also loves playing fretless bass.
Right.
But that's a pretty small market.
I think, I don't remember if it was from the Titanic song or off of one of her other songs, but do you remember, of course, everyone remembers these. Everyone over the age of, 30 remembers these at least, the like Columbia House.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. So my parents did that for a hot minute. And one of the albums...
Steve's got cool parents, guys.
No. One of the albums they got was a Celine Dion album. And I think they either got it because of the Titanic song. The Titanic song was on it, or it was the album before that had this song that was a pretty big hit for her called All Coming Back to Me Now. It was one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember we got that album and I was like, oh, what's this all about? Because I only knew whatever, like that radio song, whatever radio song it was. And I remember one of my parents being like, yeah, that album's not very good. It's not what I expected. Because they thought like the whole thing was going to be like power ballads.
Right.
But it's like, it's like any other pop. Like she was a soft rock, like adult contemporary pop singer in that time. So there's like 4 or 5 ballads and everything else is just like, pop music.
Right. I'm going to alternate reality this guitar for you, Steve, and then you can tell me whether or not you would buy that version instead.
Okay.
So this is a P bass. Mm-hmm. Let's turn it into a jazz bass. I know you're a jazz bass boy. We're going to turn Celine Dion into Shania Twain. Are you in?
This all conversion scheme of yours, Ryan, that did not impress me much.
But are you more into that than Celine Dion on a P bass? You're not more into Shania upside down Shania Twain on a jazz bass. Come on.
No.
I feel like I'm more into that. You're not even into
I
it.
guess. It's such a low bar. All right, Ryan.
Okay.
Let's alternate reality this.
Okay, do it to me.
I know you're really into Fender Duosonics.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of Celine Dion on a P bass, it's a painting of the old bath water that Gwen Stefani's taking a bath in the song whatever the hell that song. No Doubt
I think it's
song
called
was.
Bath
Is it called
Water.
Bath Water. It's a painting of the bath water on a Duosonic. Are you more or less interested in that than this P bass?
Yeah. Oh, obviously. Yeah, you're describing a Duosonic.
I'm actually describing something really weird, which is right up your alley.
Might be either like soapy blue to gross greenish brown.
What I should have said. Ryan,
either way, I'm excited.
Ryan, it's a Fender Duosonic. It's this color red. It's the same color red. But instead of Celine Dion, it's an airbrush painting of Bette Midler. And it's not Hocus Pocus Bette Midler. It's Bridge Under Troubled Waters Bette Midler. What's the song that she does that they do at like all of that they gets quoted at all the high school graduations?
I don't know, man, but I'm into it.
My hero is did I ever tell you you're my hero? Is that Wind Beneath My Wings?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's Bette Midler.
I don't know,
Bette
but
Midler Duosonic.
yes to everything you just said. I'm into it.
You're just into anything that's a Duosonic.
I would.
You're just into anything with Bette. Okay, Ryan.
I kind of want to find like
Jackson Randy Rhodes, but it's this color red, and instead of Celine Dion, it's a painting airbrush of Margaret Thatcher.
I have no desire to have a painting of Margaret Thatcher on anything, but I think the ironicness of just this style of airbrushing on a guitar that it doesn't match is gonna make me feel excited no matter who it is on what guitar.
All right, Ryan. Ryan, okay. All right, picture this. Okay,
You remember Joan Embry?
Yeah. The animal lady?
I don't know if she's a nationally known person or if we just know her locally because of the San Diego Zoo.
Just local, but I don't know.
But she was like the face of the San Diego Zoo, and like she would go on like talk shows and bring animals with her and stuff like that. I want her airbrush on some guitar. Just as like super deep local reference, like, oh yeah, there's Joan Embry on my my like Charvel Shredmaster guitar or whatever.
I got it. I got
with like a leopard print strap.
I got the perfect guitar for us.
She was like a nice lady version of Steve Irwin.
I got the perfect guitars for us. One of these guitars is burgundy.
Okay.
The other guitar is blue, pretty close to the blue on your wall back here. Gibson, both airbrushed, maroon, blue. Gibson modern V's airbrushed with Deanna Troy and Beverly Crusher.
Yes. Yes.
But the maroon one has Beverly Crusher and the blue one has Deanna Troy.
I still want that Ernie Ball Data guitar now.
But it's airbrushed and it's not Data, it's Lore.
Well, you get a pair of them. One's Data and one's Lore. What do you do? Do you do a guitar for what is her name? Polanski?
Oh, Pulaski.
The one season doctor.
I was reading a thing about that the other day where they were talking about how I always thought that Gates McFadden was off for whatever reason, like just like a personal reason. Well, it was a personal reason.
No, they were trying something different, right?
No, they got rid of her.
Yeah.
Because basically they got rid of her because she basically like, I don't know if it was Rick Berman or someone in the show who was running one of the showrunner type people decided that they were not going to write scenes that had Troy, Yar, and Crusher together because it was like too much women in one room kind of a thing. It was weird.
That is weird.
And so basically they like, and then I guess Gates McFadden in like pitch meetings and stuff and in like reading, what do they call it? Like script reading, whatever.
Like table reads.
Run table reads would be like, this is awful. Like, this is super sexist. And so they got rid of her, and they did a season with Diana Muldaur, who is I'm watching that season right now, and I think I've come full circle.
She's a fantastic
on Pulaski.
actor.
I really like her.
Just fantastic actor. I would just much rather have Gates McFadden.
Sure. That
honestly, we're rewatching TNG right now too. I was like, why not both? Porque no los dos?
Why not?
Like, they both have completely different energies and different ways of approaching, their characters as doctors. Why not have both as doctors? Like, it's a big ship. There's like 1,500 people on that ship. You need 2 doctors.
No. All Starfleets have 1 doctor and maybe 2 nurses at the most. Voyager didn't even have a doctor. They had a hologram.
Right. The best damn hologram in the galaxy, Steve.
Anyway, I don't know where I was going.
I watched Gremlins 2 the other night, and Robert Picardo is in that.
Really? Yeah, so I guess in the during season 2,
Welcome to Trek Talk.
While she was gone,
60 cycle Trek.
Patrick Stewart and was like actively like, you guys screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to bring Gates back. And I guess there was like a fan write-in, and this time it was legit. Unlike when Biff Yeager was they were like trying to decide who's going to be the chief engineer. I guess Biff Yeager leaked that there would be a fan write-in campaign for it. And supposedly a bunch of the write-in letters that say like, keep Chief Engineer Argyle, keep Chief Engineer Argyle, were written by him, like hundreds of letters. Or like written by people that he paid to write them.
Oh my
it was
gosh.
like a big. It was like not a big scandal, but it was, I guess, scandalous enough that he was not the chief engineer.
Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, this episode's also brought to you by Big Ear Pedals.
If you haven't been able to tell for a while now, this is a guitar podcast. Yeah. And Big Ear Pedals makes guitar pedals like the L, like the Albie, like the Loaf, like the Woodcutter, which I don't have in my hand, but they're big friends of the show. They make really cool pedals. Every single pedal I'm holding here is totally worth the money and totally worth exploring. Go watch videos of them, mine or other people's. They're a bunch of fun. Buy them just to support the channel. Buy them just to support the company that supports the channel that you love. Put them on the shelf. Be like, you know what? I bought that just to support the people that support the podcast that I love. And that's all you need. Never plug it in, is what I'm saying. Just never plug it in.
Just buy them. They're great.
Just buy them.
They're good.
Yeah, put them.
This is when I have a board. When my L is on a board, which I don't have a put together like playing out board right now, but when it's on a board, it's an always on pedal for me.
Yeah.
The Loaf is a great low, very mid-rangey fuzz.
No, they say that the word loaf stands for when a rabbit is curled up sitting on the ground. I say it stands for low AF because this is great for baritone, it's great for bass, it's great for like low frequency instruments. Put a synth through there or something like that, do your big low bass synth through it, you're gonna have a good time. I'm just guessing on that one. So anyways, big thanks to Big Ear Pedals. Another topic?
Yeah, you wanna talk about this other topic? There's a video that came out, did it come out today? Today of recording?
Yeah, it did. It's a Thursday. Apparently Tyler over at Music Is Win.
What's his full name?
I forget his last name. Tyler Durden. He bought.
I don't think that's it.
That's not his last name? Interesting. He bought Josh Scott's $500,000 Klon Centaur. Yeah. But then if you watch the video, it's very clear.
He sent it back.
It's just a skit, guys. He didn't actually pay Josh Scott $500,000. I don't think Josh Scott ever...
You don't think he had to do it in order to get Josh Scott into the video?
You don't think he ever expects Josh Scott to actually... I don't think Josh Scott ever expects to actually sell that thing for $500,000.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's just a joke. And I'm pretty sure this is all just a skit.
So I will say it's a skit, but it was so ridiculous. And it's actually this ties into a lot of different things we've talked about tonight. Mm-hmm. But, especially going back to the beginning, kind of talking about paid sponsorship and the fact that people will react to videos before like watching them.
Right.
And so everywhere that this video is shared, there's at least one comment that was like, man, I thought Josh was stupid for trying to sell this thing for $500,000, but I guess, these YouTubers are just rolling in cash and just whatever. Like, no big deal, $500,000.
Yeah, I guess he's just rich. Like that one channel said that YouTubers get paid $10,000 every time they do a demo. I guess that's true now.
Yeah. He only had to do 50 demos to do that. Does he even do demos? He doesn't even do demos.
I don't think he really does demos. He does more
he's a music teacher.
Go
guy.
subscribe. Go get an education from Berkeley. Use my link.
Yeah. He gets a 5% cut every time somebody signs up for Berkeley.
Oh my
every
gosh,
time
could
a
you
tuition
imagine?
check goes through.
Could you imagine getting affiliate earnings off of someone's college education?
I mean, there are places that kind of do that. I don't think they do a commission. They do a affiliate type commission. I think they just do a flat fee.
Society is broken. That is horrendous to think of that concept.
Well, no, but like think about like things like Skillshare, right?
It's one thing for me to make $2 every time you buy, $100 pedal on Amazon or whatever. But imagine someone getting a kickback every time some poor soul goes and gets a 6-figure college education.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not 6 figures, but still, that's Skillshare. That's the Skillshare.
No, I'm talking about like Berkeley. Berkeley can't be cheap.
And it's not. Well, yeah, it's probably Berkeley is probably. I would guess it's like the same price as like Full Sail.
I have no idea anymore. I don't
know how much Full Sail is. I'm just saying.
I went to college 2 decades ago. I'm old.
That's a weird thing to think about.
I'm an old now, guys.
I thought the video was fine. It's obviously a skit.
It's a skit. It's fun. It's humorous. Tyler's sense of humor and the way he acts is not for me, but I get why a lot of people like him.
Yeah.
I also get why a lot of people don't like him, and that's fine too.
I thought it was fun. I think I thought it was funny to have Josh show up in it. That was fun.
Oh yeah, of course he's going to show up.
And of course
in
he's
it.
like super baller.
Right. I think Josh did a great job of playing his character in that.
Yeah.
I appreciated his parts. It's silly. Go watch it, guys. Tell us what you think in the comments of that video. Go give Tyler all the views that he deserves. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views on that video, please.
Again, going back, like I'm so stuck on the fact that like I've seen this shared in 2 or 3 groups, and all the comments are just.
Well, we already know.
There's always 1 or 2 comments that are like, "Did anyone actually watch?" There's always one person who's like, "Did anyone watch the video?" And then like 20 comments later, the same person's like, "I guess none of you guys actually watched the video."
If it's not hyperbolic, you're not on the internet, okay?
Yeah.
So that's the reality of it. No, people absolutely react to the thumbnail and the clickbait of it without actually ever watching anything. Like if they actually watch it, they'd be like, "Oh, this is so silly, it's barely even worth talking about."
The title of this episode should just be "This podcast contains paid sponsorship."
I gotta say, I played that Klon a couple times. I had it on the table for all the videos I did when I was at JHS.
Did you try to steal it?
No, of course not.
Oh.
I offered Josh $325,000 for it, and he wouldn't take it. So
Dang.
I know I was gonna mortgage my house to
That
buy.
could have been on What's New. I sold that Matthews pedal.
Oh, did you?
Sold Matthews Architect for $95. I took $95.
There you go.
Because the guy was like, "This is the most I will offer, and also it's the average of the last 20 sold listings on Reverb." I was like,
Fair.
"All right, man.
That is fair.
I'll try to get it shipped out before the end of the weekend."
Oh, man, I ordered. Speaking of shipping, my wife dropped a hint of something that she wanted for like a Valentine's Day gift, like a week and a half before Valentine's Day.
Up?
I ordered it that moment. She like, hey, this looks nice. I would appreciate that as a gift someday. And so I ordered it that moment on my phone. Valentine's Day comes and goes. I'm like, hey, how come this thing never showed up? I keep checking the shipping on it, and it's always like, oh, it's in pre-shipping. It's in pre-shipping. Like, what does that mean? So I hit up the person. I'm like, what is going on with this object? this product.
What is this object
that you're supposed to be shipping me? And they're like, oh, I'm in Greece, and it takes like a month for it to get there on a boat. And what are you talking about? Why am I waiting forever for this thing?
They shipped it from Greece to the United States on a boat?
It certainly sounds that way.
What in the world?
So if it doesn't get here.
So it still hasn't arrived.
It has not arrived
It's
yet.
been 3 full weeks.
It's been
3 weeks
since I ordered this thing. Ridiculous. That I shouldn't
Your
be
Valentine's Day must have been awful.
I shouldn't be coy about
Lauren
what it is.
Lauren goes all in for Valentine's Day, and you're like, I ordered it.
She requested. I haven't even told her that I ordered it and it didn't show up. She found these Star Trek
Even
earrings.
worse, Star Trek earrings.
Yeah, they're the shape of the badge.
Oh, that's cute.
It is cute. Of course, I'm going to buy that for my wife. And I'm just, it'll be a surprise when it gets here. Maybe she's hearing me in the next room over and I just spoiled the surprise. I don't know how
Bling.
thin these walls are.
They're pretty thin. We talk pretty loud.
But I assume that she tries to ignore everything I say when I'm out of the room.
That's fair.
I know that I would.
Hey, while I do this next segment, I need you to do me a solid, okay?
Okay.
I don't know. You don't have the thing for me to play music on out
Oh,
here.
let me grab it.
All right, and this next segment is called Housekeeping. In this part of the show, we thank the people who help make this content possible. And if you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where for as little as $1 a month or at a 8% discounted rate, $11 a year, you can support the show.
A lot of people have been grabbing up that, pay for a full year at a time thing, which is cool by me. Sure. Go for it.
So we have different tiers, of course. And at the $1 level, we'll say your name here and you'll go on the little scroll at the end of the episode. Hopefully I'll get it updated before this one does. I usually do.
Yep.
And at the $5 level, I will someday send you some merch. And at the $10 level, I will send you some merch and maybe some of these. I got one pack. Should I open this up and just send one per person?
Yeah, send one per person.
These little
when we get extra
board toppers,
extra bits of swag, we send them out.
There's a tuner
in the things.
We'll see what gets sent out.
Yeah.
I got some Hosa stuff. I got some guitar cleaner and whatnot.
Some Kobe Labs bottles.
Yep. Anyway, this week at the $1 level is Nicodemus Sivola.
That's a cool name.
Chris Blatchford and Thomas Knapp.
Wow, 3.
And at the $5 level, Granap.
We got a bunch of people joining on, Steve.
Sky Tenorio. We know Sky. Sky's been on the show.
Yeah.
Sky's been on the show a few times.
Yeah.
On our group hangs when we do the group hangs. And Stephen Brady.
Hey,
so
Steven.
Thanks everyone.
Is that like 6 or 7 people you just listed?
6 people.
That's crazy. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate that.
We just hit 100 and I thought it would slow down and it actually sped up.
People heard 100 and they're like, I want to be in that club.
Yeah.
Guys, we have 1,000. Don't you want to be part of 1,000 people? Join up, guys. We don't have 1,000. We have 106 now. 107 maybe?
I don't know.
We have over 100 people patronizing us, guys.
Yeah, so very cool. Thanks again, everyone who supports the show. Ryan probably bought this paint with your Patreon.
Yes, this paint cost $23. Thank you, Patreons.
I don't know, man. I don't know how much paint
I should probably pay my wife for painting this room.
All right, this last ad is sent in by Elston Gray. It says Gibson Les Paul. I should write down the time. I like to write down the timestamps in real time because it makes it a lot easier for me to do the little timestamps in the YouTube video.
You know, it'll be off by half a minute because of the pre-roll.
I wrote minus 30 seconds at the beginning, and I've been doing the calculations on the fly.
Steve is organized.
That's why I always like when you start, I'm like, hold on. Okay, go.
Wow, Steve's a technician over here.
Gibson Les Paul. Let me freaking read this, okay?
Freaking read it, Steve.
Gibson Les Paul truss rod cover with rude engraving. Please do not read if easily offended truss rod.
Well, we can't even read it because he didn't put in a picture of the full word.
$49.99 plus $10 shipping. View my other listings for a boatload of other accessories and parts. I have come to
You don't need to read the rest of that, do you?
for your approval. It is engraved F *** WAD Why would anyone be offended by F *** wad?
Forkwad. Folkwad?
Folkwad.
It says folkwad under there.
It's for your this Les Paul kills fascists.
Yeah.
It's a folkwad.
It's the folkwad. Truss rod cover.
5-wad. 4-wad.
Face wad.
Fundwad. Face would work. Fundwad. It's for making money. It's for making a wad of funds.
Fortwad.
Fortwad.
Firewad.
Firewad. That's a nice one.
There's all kinds of 4-letter F words,
It's when you have it make a spit wad out of, but you've been drinking like vodka or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you make a spit wad.
And you light it on fire.
And then you spit it.
Sounds dangerous and cool.
Yeah. Full wad. It's for horse lovers.
I honestly don't have anything to say about this. If you want to spend $60 to have dirty words on your headstock, I'm not going to stop you.
That's a lot of money, but I guess it's a custom truss rod.
But also, it's like, maybe it's the guy's nickname or something like that. It's his nickname in his band or whatever. $60 to have Forkwad on your headstock. It doesn't seem like a cool enough swear. Like, I feel like it would be cool enough if it was just fuck. You know?
And instead of being in the Gibson cursive, would you want it in the Gibson cursive?
Yeah, I would.
I was gonna say, do you just want it in like the later like the Gibson that's on the Epiphones,
like,
or it's the Gibson block lettering?
I think find a proper swear that's the right amount of letters to stand in for customer standard or what would normally go there. And don't come up with a compound swear that seems kind of immature, honestly. Like that's what bullies, like high school bullies, would call junior hires in the 80s.
You know what would be better than this?
What?
Water slide decal in the Fender spaghetti logo. Turn your Fender, make your Fender knockoff guitar, but instead of the branding being Fender, it's fucker.
Yeah, I believe that already exists. There's no way it doesn't
No,
exist.
this is an original idea.
There's no way that
My original idea
doesn't exist.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. No, it would line up perfectly because that lowercase k would land right where the lowercase d is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'd only have to change 2 letters into 3 letters. You'd have to add a UC. No, yeah, just UC instead of EN in the Fender.
Yeah.
And change the D to a K.
What other things? I mean, I don't know.
I would have it say dang or gosh darn. That's the kind of swear I would pay $60 to have on a Gibson. Gosh darn dang it.
Dang.
All right, tell us about the song, Steve.
This week's song is
Imagine a $60 swear, and you choose Forkwad.
This week's song was sent in by the Sonoran Surfers. This is a
Fun.
surf rock project. They live in Arizona, so they write surf rock songs about the desert. They started in February 2019, forming as a trio. Then COVID hit. And their drummer's health went down, not related to COVID, and passed away. During 2020,
remember that. I think I saw them post about it.
Yeah, I had been recording music on they've sent music to us before. They're really good.
No, I follow them on social medias.
So this is a song from the latest album they released. The album is called Phoenix. The song is called Trouble on the I-10. He says, I've been recording with a Squier baritone bass converted into a bass 6, into an MXR M80 bass CI, and a Behringer Euphoria into Audacity. The drums are programmed. The guitar is a 2019 Capri Orange Player Series Strat into a Tone Master Deluxe reverb using the DI output from the amp straight into the laptop. Everything was silently recorded during the night, usually after work. I had friends comment that they thought this was a good track, though it's maybe more LA surf punk inspired than some of my other compositions. So here we go.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Trouble.
super fun. I love all the wah on it. You don't hear a lot of wah on surf tracks. And it was definitely doing that LA punk thing that he was talking about. But this is a lot of fun. Like you could hear that being, you know, on the Repo Man soundtrack or something like that.
That was great.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone. Oh, you have something to say?
Yeah. We have, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 entries for Unscall My Song.
Yeah. We are going to do prices for that. I'm going to try to get some sort of promotional material out this week for people who want to jump in later on it. The rest of you got a head start because you listened to the podcast. But we will pick a few winners and send out prizes for the Unscall My Song competition. So just take a ska song, re-record it in a different genre, no horns, no tick guitar, unsca that song, and send us the MP3 to 60cyclehumcast@gmail.com. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay grounded.
See ya.